What is up, you guys? Podcast number 26 of No Star Power. How's everybody doing? It's just me and you, as always. For those of you just tuning in for the first time, my name is Ben Ball. I run this podcast on the weekly, and I just sit and I talk to you guys. And lately, I've been doing Would You Rathers a lot. And so I've been enjoying doing it. I think it's something that's a little more interactive than me just doing basically like stand-up jokes for you. So we're gonna keep doing that. I put out sketches every week as well. So it's a little bit of a variety show we got going on here for the time being. We're having fun with it. How are you guys doing? How's the world out there for you? How's your mental health? Good? Hope it's good. The seasons are changing. And hopefully it's going from winter to summer to spring instead of summer to fall, like Australia is a backward place, I'll tell you that much. Only in their seasons. Only backwards, like literally backwards compared to us, is what I meant. Oh, God, that was close. I'm sorry, all the Australians. How are you guys doing? Okay, listen, the last video had a bit of a focusing issue, and I've had that issue with this camera before, and it's really distracting and annoying, and I'm sorry about that. This time it's not going to happen. There's a chance I'll just be slightly out of focus, though, because it's now on manual focus. I don't know what's wrong with the camera. I'm going to take it in. If you happen to have a Sony A7 series camera and you've had this issue before, put it in the comments. We might as well. God. You know, I've been thinking lately, before we get into the Would You Rather, I've been thinking about, what makes me feel good? What makes me feel, it grounds me, right? Because I could use a bit of that. I think everyone can use a bit of that right now. And one thing that really grounds me is like thinking about nostalgic things, like going back and reminding myself of my past, like way back to the point where I'm like, that feels like history now, but I was there. And that's weird because I'm 26 and that's only starting to become something I can say now. It's like, I was there for 9/11. That feels like eons ago now. And I wasn't even there for it. My mom told me that it was the air show and their steering wheels and the jets got jammed. And then I remember as a kid going, but how did two of them get jammed? What are the odds of that? She just went, just eat your fucking Apple Jacks and shut the fuck up. I don't know how to explain to you that terrorists want America to fall. Anyway, I forget where I was. Why don't we do a Would You Rather? Pee poo. Oh, this is something I was thinking about before we do the Would You Rather. Another thing. I just wanted to add this. As a kid, too. Another kid thing, if we're on this train, because I'm enjoying myself with this train of thought. I would watch, like, kids' movies to remind me of, like, childhood shit. That was, like, fun. And one thing I realized, and I did this on TikTok in case you followed me. I brought this up on TikTok, and I was like, actually, I just thought of it, and I was like, man, I better bring that up on the podcast for my gang, for my star gang. In kids' movies, bad guys, they never die. Okay? And it bothers me because I'm like, you know me. If you know me, you know me. I am very stubborn about detail and analysis. And I want you to have thought of everything. I want you to have put every nook and cranny into that show. Don't give a fuck if it's a movie for kids. I want you to have thought of it. Kids' movies, bad guys, most of the time, don't die. They just fall really far into darkness. Or they're in a house that falls off a cliff. Or they fall off the cliff. Or even worse, which happens a lot of the time, you just see them not die. They just get humiliated, right? Like they're factory turns on them, or like, you know what I mean? It's like, psst, and it gives them a wedgie, and they're like, oh no, and then they get like, powder puffed in the face, and they're like, oh, whoo, and there's like little birds. And then they all go, yeah! And they're all covered in soot. And then, like, the big guy who had been, like, taken advantage of earlier, they all move for him. And he goes, looks like it's over for you. And then he, like, belly bounces him. And, like, the bad guy goes, like, oh, or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not even talking about one specific movie, but that just feels like every kid's movie mixed into one. That happens. Except for Tarzan, where Clayton just that's why it's such a good movie, I think, is because they're just like, nah, let's watch Clayton get hanged by a fucking vine. He's gonna go, ha! While Tarzan's trying to save him. So it's like devastating. It's like, oh, he's trying to be a good man. He's trying to be a good ape man. And still Clayton, the poacher, the evil poacher who wanted nothing, who wanted him dead, still lost his life. But yo, like in other movies like Chicken Run, I was watching Chicken Run, and this lady, the like chicken lady who's turning everyone into pies, she like just like, I think something like explodes in her like factory, like her whole factory explodes, but then she's like, ooh, like I said, like covered in soot, her hair's like spiky and up on end, like, oh, and then she goes, oh, and there's like a door left over from like the framework of her burnt house, and it's like all that's left, and then it kind of goes, and she goes, ah, and then like the door just like lands on her, and all the chickens go, yeah, they're all British, except for Mel Gibson, who's like the rooster in that movie. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah, it's Mel Gibson. Apparently that rooster hates Jews. They don't, it's like in the subtext, it's in the wiki, the Chicken Run wiki. And guess whose choice that was? Mel Gibson's. Mel Gibson really pined for that to be a subtextual feature of that rooster character. Yeah, so she just gets covered, like knocked down, and like the door just falls on her. And they're like, yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, that's just a really bad day, right? So that's a bad day. She's had a bad day. A door fell on her. Ouch. Maybe like out for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Okay. Then she's gonna come back, get her insurance money from her factory, because that bitch, she was mean, but she was organized. She had insurance for sure. In that movie, she had insurance. So she's gonna come back. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna move in down the street. This is tragic. Oh mate, it just happened. I don't know. The chickens revolted. But now that I'm back on my feet after only like a week to 2 weeks tops, time to turn all those chickens into pies still. Come on then, chickens. And they're all like, oh no, we're still in the gulag. Jesus fucking Christ. Chicken Run 2. I think there was a Chicken Run 2 where that doesn't happen, and that's why I didn't watch it. That's why nobody knows it exists. That's why everyone's like, was there a Chicken Run 2? And I don't even know, but if there was a Chicken Run 2, they probably didn't explore that angle, and then it probably bombed. Because they should have. They should have just been like, she just gets up after the door falls on her, and then she goes and continues to be like the Hitler of chickens. To have chicken pot pie. The Hitler of chicken pot pie. I wish I could make that the title of this video. But YouTube would have my head on a fucking stick. Okay, let's do a Would You Rather. Let's do a Would You Rather. Okay, here's a good one. Would you rather a bell go off every time you're horny, or never get horny? Okay, and we're going to rip through this one because I'm also realizing I can't make this the title. But which one would you rather? We're going to do a quick version. A bell goes off when you're horny. Ding-a-ling-ling-ling. In the library. Just like, not even because of somebody you're attracted to, but just because it just happens sometimes. Ding, 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 ding. They're like, oh, that's that guy from the news. Yeah, bell goes off when he's horny. It's a magical spell. He's horny right now. You probably just have to get used to being like, I'm horny, guys. Just owning it, laughing it off. I'm horny. Because that's the thing. It might actually like really change your life in a positive way. Because if you're horny and a bell goes off, there's no hiding it. So it's almost like you're being forced to accept that. And it might even make you even more confident, right? Like, you might even just be that guy who's like, or that girl, or that other, I don't know how to put it. Sorry if I just offended half the world. But if you're, it's like you just be like, I'm just horny, and everyone's gonna know it for the rest of my life. And that's okay. And I'm kind of famous. Like, you'd be famous, right? Because people would just start to be like, what is that bell? And then you just have to be like, listen, there's this magic spell. But then again, would people believe you? Who knows? Maybe you just be ostracized by society and you just be like the most annoying and hated person ever because you just keep saying, it's a bell, it goes off when I'm horny. And they're like, well, don't do that. And you're like, no, well, it's actually like a fucking spell. And they're like, a spell? What the fuck? What? You got like punched in the face and shit. So, okay, maybe I got to rethink that. Or you never get horny. See, this is a private one. And it's arguable. It's like, is that even bad? Because being horny is like good, but it's also like, it's kind of like nostalgia, right? Where nostalgia is like, yeah, it's good, but it also is this thing that you need to satiate that you almost can't. Now, I guess nostalgia is kind of worse in a way. I've heard somebody say that nostalgia is like the worst state of being for that very reason. Because you're like, I need to satiate this mixture of sadness and wistfulness with something, and you can't. Because like all that could satiate it would be like living those times again. Anyway, I don't want to get sentimental. So yeah, I don't know. Like, you would never get horny. Because that's, okay, so where was I? Yes. So if you couldn't ever get horny, you'd just be like, you never have to like satiate it by like jerking off or like hooking or like, you know, trying to like woo somebody. You just never do it. Your head would be so clear, and you could just have sex for the, you know, for the necessity of it, for a child. I will have sex for a child. Yeah, you know what? Who knows? Put it in the comments. Like, what do you think? Do you think it would make like a worse person or a better person if they could never get horny? Like, clear-headed for sure. Definitely more clear-headed. We can all agree on that. They would be clear-headed, but they'd probably be kind of maybe stale, maybe kind of boring, maybe a little gray, a little bland. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got those synonyms up my fucking pocket. Up my pocket. Up my sleeve. Yeah, so I don't know about that one. I'd probably choose never get horny. Because having a bell go off, like, you'd just either be famous or hated, and it would be really hard to deal with. But there's a chance that you just get to be like, and you're kind of that fun person where they're like, oh my God, and maybe some people are kind of like into it. They're like, okay, you're horny right now? You'd start to realize that maybe you'd start to unlock that maybe the world, certain people in the world, especially when it's not your choice to tell everyone when you're horny, is like, okay, I'll come and it's like, I'll have sex with you. Like, maybe there's more people out there where if you just went, I have to tell you all that I'm horny, it's a court order. Like, if it was like a realistic situation instead of the bell, you just have to, if you had to tell everyone, then, it, you know, maybe a higher percentage than you'd expect would be like, you want to fuck right now? And you'd be like, oh yeah, yes, that's why I'm saying I'm horny. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm horny. So. You know, maybe you just get laid a lot and everyone would be like, hey, he doesn't have control over it. Not bad. Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next one. You let me know what you think about that. And like I said, I will answer you. I will answer you. Within like the week that this is posted, at least. Hell, I'll answer you whenever. Just fucking. This shit isn't blowing up anytime soon. Would you rather me? Oh, man, that's a sad one. Okay. Would you rather die quickly or slowly, but not painfully? This is a tough one. Okay. Die quickly, and they're not saying painfully, but they're insinuating, you know, dying hurts. Or die slowly, but not painfully. Boom. Okay, here's one thing I'm noticing. They're not saying that dying quickly hurts. Okay, but they're insinuating it, so I'm gonna assume that it hurts because I can tell that's obviously the trade-off. Because who wants to die? I mean, yeah, they're saying that. Okay, so dying quickly, but it's like that, or is that even quickly in the grand scheme of things? That's something we would have to debate in the comments. Or right now, I will do it for you. Or slowly but not painfully. So slowly but not painfully, no pain, zero pain. So you're just like slowly, just a year goes, but maybe like, maybe it wouldn't be a year. Maybe they're talking like a day. Like, oh, I'm dying. Maybe a week. Let's say it's a week. Okay. Let's start with that. And then quickly is like 10 seconds. Like, oh God. There's the worst pain. Oh, and then the death is coming. And then the death. That just made me sad. I don't know, man. I don't know. A week of just dying and knowing it. But here's the thing. It would be a little easier because it's a witch spell. So you're like, you're like, this is just the way it's gone for me. This witch showed up, or whoever the fuck it is with the would you rather, and went, choose one. And then I have to choose, oh God, okay, so I die right now. And they're like, yeah, the way I do it is I stick like a knife in the back of your neck. Oh my God. Or you can die slowly, which will be like this, basically a spell like synonymous to like cyanide, but really slowly through your system. And then we just take your nerves out. You're like, oh God, okay. Because that's the thing. Obviously, they're asking, would you rather like no? Because it would be like painful. It would be painful in a way, emotionally painful, right? To know you're gonna die for a week. In my case, if we're, in like a week worth of time. So it's like you have 1 week, and you're like, what? Because of a magic spell? No. It'd be like you wouldn't even be able to take advantage of that time. You'd be too distraught and in pain emotionally. Yeah, probably just like, dude, if you're gonna kill me, witch, just like go, let's go. No, wait, never mind. I choose the other. Dead. It's a tough one. That also, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that one's a bit sad. Let's do one more little quick one before I go. Okay, here we go. Here's a good one. There's another death one, but maybe a little more silly. Would you rather die by zombie attack or by shark attack? Okay, here we go. Probably zombie attack, because you have like a fighting chance, whereas that it's insinuated, and these are the ground rules I'm going to lay down. You could probably agree with this, that the shark attack is just like how a shark would normally kill you, and it's kind of like out of nowhere, and you're like surfing, you're in the middle of your day, and you're just like, oh, I'm going to die now by a shark. Whereas zombies, you know that there are zombies coming, right? Unless you're one of those like idiots who's like in the opening of the movie where they're introducing the monster and they're like, come on, let's go on a hike. And they're like, I don't know about this. It says danger on the sign. What, are you scared of a little bear? I don't think that's what it's about. It looks brand new. And the government's been talking about, this illness. What, you're gonna get a little cough? Come on. And then now the camera's like further away and they're kind of like it's like echoey, and they're just in the distance, there's something kind of watching, and it's like, and you're like, yeah, come on, don't be a pussy. And then like the thing goes, and they go, ah! And then the camera like pans up to the sky, and then it goes, DreamWorks presents. It's like this like happy music, and now they start in like introducing like the theme song and like the fucking like the main characters who are gonna like the heroes who are gonna like help fix the situation. Dude, I mean, that's how every Scooby-Doo movie starts, at least. But where was I? Yeah, zombies. I would choose zombies because here's the thing. Because shark attack is like, it's just scary, and it's like a zombie. Okay, here it is. A zombie thing, if you know you're gonna die, because you signed this magical contract for the would you rather, then you can be like, okay, you know, I know, like, I'm going to, like, put up the boards like COD Zombies. I'm even going to make the sound. Ching, ching, you're going to, like, do all this shit. And it's going to be kind of fun. But what I was saying is, like, you bring people over, and this is what I would do. I would bring people over because I know I'm the one who's going to have to die at the end. So I'd be like, hey, guys, everyone come over. Stay at my place, and we're all gonna like do the classic thing, like somebody bring a bat with a nail in it. You know, I've got the weird bear traps and shit. I'm gonna be like in the fucking, like I'm gonna be that person with the fucking gun who's like, stop right there. And it's like not a zombie. It's one of those situations where it's like the person who just needs resources, and they're like, please, I come from, and they're like, duck, and then they like take out a zombie right behind you that you didn't see, and they're like, if you want to survive, follow me. And then you follow them for a bit, and they've got like a big like band. They've got like, you know, like a kind of a wrap around their face, so you can't tell who they are. And then like 20 minutes in, like after they meet, they take it off, and it's a girl. And then you're like, whoa, damn, that trope worked for a little while, didn't it? We had a time there where it was like, I'm shocked that it's a what, but she was physically competent and strategically competent. I'm used to seeing men in the lead roles for the last 100 years of cinema. That's the cover. Oh, it's good. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Anyway, you'd have to be that kind of, you know, you like get, that's your first person you meet is the person with the gun. Like you're the person coming to the, or you're the fucking, no, you're the person with the gun. You know what I'm saying? Like you play it all, like play all the tropes, because you're like, I get to live out this reality now. It's kind of like fun, dude. And then what I was going to say is you invite all the people over, and since you know you're going to die, you can be the one to sacrifice yourself. Everyone comes in, the zombies are like, yeah. You're like, yeah, go, fucking go. And then you just get taken out, and they're like, oh my God, he was a hero. He's a hero, or she was a hero, or they were a hero. Ding-a-ling-ling. I'm horny. Oops. Yeah, I'm doing the quick, painful death. Ah. Dude, I'm tying them all together. Let's go. Jeez. Here, little Tommy boy. Play with this toy engine. Get your mind off the zombie apocalypse. The toy's broken. Nah, I don't feel like playing with it. I want to play with my neighbors. Boom, I'm tying in everything. Dude. When you tie that shit in, it's so much funnier because you're clever about it. I'm probably going to write a stand-up set based on all this stupid ramble, and I'm going to tie it all in at the end right there. And I'm hopefully going to get a laugh and go, guys, that was my time. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much. That was my time. Put it together for your host, guys, for the night. Thank you. Else. Anyway. And then I guess I should explore the shark thing for a minute. I mean, you know, it's not desirable. I wouldn't want to be like, you know, with my surfboard, and then suddenly I'm like surfing, and then a shark just fucking like grabs me by the, you know, you're living out Jaws, but that was not fun. There was no chance at survival. It was just, you're in the water. It's a fucking lottery. And the way you go down ain't good. And then it's like the psychology of it is like the shark, like doesn't even, not the poor shark, like fuck sharks in a way. But also, like, they didn't even know. They thought you were a seal. And then they, like... Isn't it weird how, like, most of the time, like, when sharks bite into you, they, like, don't even... They're like, oh, fuck. Sorry. It's like, I thought that was seal. Gross. That was person. That was long pork. Do you know what that is? I don't want to even tell you. That's fucking gross. That's for mature audiences. Sign up for my Patreon, guys, if you want mature audience content. Just kidding. I don't do anything for my Patreon yet because I've got 0 patrons, but we're building our way up there. It's always in the link, and it's always got a link in the description if you wanted to, because one day this whole channel is going to be yours. I was going to say it was going to blow up, but if it doesn't, this whole channel will be yours. Imagine if I did that and I like just pawned it off onto somebody who doesn't really want it. Thanks, but you've been my supporter since day one. Twins in the corner. I hear you. I know you're probably listening to this because you're a huge supporter. What if I sat you down and I was like, one day, all of this podcast will be yours. And you're just like, okay, like I have to keep it up weekly and do Would You Rathers. And don't you forget about the weekly sketch too. Yeah, it's always random. Nothing strings it together. It's just a shot in the dark if it's going to do well or not. I have to do that every week. Have to. My son, it is an honor, isn't it? Oh, anyway, my camera keeps dying. Oh, so annoying. So Crystalia that I just did that. Hey, here we go. But anyway, I'm just going to wrap it up on that because I've already wrapped it up once, but I'm going to do a second wrap up. And here comes the song. Okay, that's the music. Guys, if you want to share this with anybody, I would love that. Please, if you had a good time listening to me today, just send it to one of your friends. Just be like, this is a person I like to listen to. It's just an obscure dude on the internet who does podcasts and a weekly sketch. I would love you for that. I've got a Patreon if you wanted to support me. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm loving it, and I just do it for whoever's out there, and I appreciate all of you who listen. So leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time on No Star Power. Take it easy.